What up? What up? What up? It's your boy Brooklyn Zone in the house. I got my co-host Phoenix.
What's up, y'all?
So Phoenix, we've been getting a lot of feedback from the folks out here, and a lot of people want to know what what men want, and then what do women want.
Oh, okay.
So let's talk about it. I mean, so we know what men want and what women want. The list is very long,
Endless.
endless. So you figure we can carry this list out to about 100 different things that men and women want.
Right.
So what we're gonna do, we're just gonna talk about our top 5.
Okay.
You know, we'll just scratch the surface for now, and as we go through, we will have part 2, part 3, part 50,
If necessary.
if necessary, on what men and women want. So Phoenix, speak on some of the things that women want.
Okay, well, let me first say this because as we know, there are different types of women out there. So my top 5 would be comprised for women that are married or in a relationship, a committed relationship,
Okay.
maybe with children,
Okay.
and we're not talking about their 20s.
Okay.
So maybe
But they can still learn. The
They-
youngins can still learn from this.
they can still learn. But what I'm saying is their top 5 might be different from my top 5.
So speak your truth.
Okay, so
Let's get into it.
all right, let's do it. My first one for me is respect.
Respect.
I have to be able to respect my man, my partner, because if I don't have respect for you, you can't lead me anywhere.
Ooh, I like that.
And when
Do you have a man? No, I'm just kidding. I ain't gonna get into your personal business.
Okay.
I'm just messing with you. But go ahead, speak on it.
yeah, so if I have respect for my man, he can tell me, okay, say there's a catastrophe and we have to leave.
Oh.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
He's got to be the type that has a plan already in place. I mean, for any situation, and I just have to believe in him. I have to be able to believe in him in order to respect him enough.
I got it. So respect, being able to believe in your partner.
My credible leader.
Credible leader. I love that term. Credible leader. So respect is a big thing for women in relationships.
Yes, for the group of women that I'm referring to. Yes.
Got it. Let's so credible leadership. Real quick for the ladies out there. Like I said, I don't want to get into your personal thing. How is it that a woman can find a credible leader?
How can a woman find a credible leader?
Yeah.
His history.
Okay.
You know, what has he done to make him credible? Is he trustworthy?
Okay.
Is he dependable? That's just a few things. It could be more.
Okay.
But yeah. And a woman knows.
There we go.
A woman knows whether she can respect a man. Because some men are bold-faced liars. You know, some men try to get over on you. Some men are lazy. So I would say a respectable man is the opposite of that.
Okay.
Of those things.
Okay, that's very interesting. So let me ask you, how many women ignore their intuition because of their ego and end up with a buster?
Okay, I don't like the way you use the word ego. I say women are naturally nurturing. So naturally, we try to find or seek the best out of a man.
Through your ego.
No, there's no ego involved.
The ego leads y'all.
No, no.
If it didn't, so hear me out. If women didn't lead with their ego, they wouldn't end up with no good dudes.
I totally disagree with that. I'm going to say women follow their heart and sometimes not their minds. So, and that's not egotistical. It's a loving nature, or that's how we are. So that's not the ego. That's just us being who we are naturally.
That's very interesting.
We're nurturing. So in the beginning, we might see you as, okay, I didn't really like that too much, but I'm gonna let that slide.
And why?
Because you want to see the best out of that man.
And that's ego all day long.
Okay, we are. Let's just agree to disagree on that one.
No. We can unpack it for our listeners, because here's what women do. When you guys meet a dude, you guys are creating a movie, right? The movie, you're the director, you're the producer, you're starring in the movie, and it's all about your movie. And what that guy is that you meet, you know what he is in your movie? He's just an actor. And that's how you guys end up with dudes that ain't worth nothing, because your ego won't allow you to see him for what he is. Because when you guys meet a dude, you have your own movie and your own fantasy about what that dude is. Now, we can meet that same dude. I can meet that dude and tell he's full of shit from a handshake. But you think he's worth something. And only the female ego can negate the female intuition. Because if you guys use your intuition, you wouldn't end up with these busters. Because men, we spot bullshit right away. My daughter or my sister can introduce me to their boyfriend or fiance, and from the handshake and the look in his eyes, I could tell he ain't shit. Y'all can't tell that.
Okay, that's where I'm gonna have to let you stop right there, because I mean my ears were on fire as you kept using the word ego.
That's it.
Because first of all, it's like you're trying to insinuate that we're not sensible enough to recognize bullshit.
You're not.
I'm gonna tell you one more time.
Listen, because if you were sensible, then the divorce rate between our melanated people wouldn't be 70%. So that tells me that 70% of the married couples out there are getting divorced because you didn't pick the right partner up front.
Or how about, wait a minute. How about the person that you pretended to be when we met you, you weren't your honest self. So that is not us being egotistical or having you star in our movie. That's y'all being full of shit from jump and not being honest enough, because you know what? You will say anything or do anything to create the personality that you may not be. So I'm gonna call y'all liars.
Absolutely. You are making my point. You are making my point 100%. Because here is the Creator's defense to us liars, and that's your intuition. And women always ignore their intuition because their ego leads them.
Okay. Okay. So let's just leave that one.
We'll let the listeners think about that.
And comment,
And
please,
comment
ladies, comment, because you know I was about to grab his neck, right? All right. So,
Give me so we got past that one. And that's great. The listeners are gonna comment on it. Ladies, chime in on it. So tell me, Phoenix, give me another.
okay. So another one for me that out of my top 5 would be drive, and I'm not talking about driving a car.
Driving a car?
No,
No?
no,
I can drive.
not what he drives. No,
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about drive as in his what he aspires out of life.
Ooh.
Okay,
Wow.
his aspirations, and I'm not saying whatever he does. I just want him to do the best that he can do. So he has to have drive to always do his best. And that's when I was talking about a lazy man. That if you lazy, you have no drive.
Wow.
And that's something that's going to show up sooner than later.
I love that. Drive. So let me ask you how you feel about this, because I believe that a man's drive is very important and conducive to men and women relating to each other. Now, a man's drive can be many things. So let me ask you how you feel about this, and for the ladies out there. Understand that a man that has the drive to do whatever it is he wants to do, that may turn into neglect for you and the family. What do you think about that?
Okay, and this is where I feel communication steps into play. So you tell me what it is that you're driven to do in life. Whatever it is. Hey, I'm a mechanic and I want to have my own shop in the next 3 to 5 years. That's going to take time. That's going to take a lot of hard work. I know what to expect from him so I can support him.
Say that again. Say that again. So you can what?
Support him. So that means I'm not going to be trivial about him working late and not being able to come with me to Chuck E. Cheese to take the kids to a birthday party, because I know he is driven to be the best for his family.
That's amazing. And I hope that the listeners, specifically the women, understand what you just said. I can't even add any more to that. So let's go to your next one.
Okay, so I take you like that one. All right.
Absolutely.
All right, so my third, which is, oh my gosh. It probably could have jumped to my number 2, but I'm going to say mental stability.
Wow.
And
You're saying you can't be in the psych ward? You can't. Crazy? You said mental stability. Well, you got to break that down. What is mental stability? Because
he
I don't know.
he has to be stable minded. Like, he can't have his demons show up and he fly off the handle because somebody just stopped me in the store or whatever. And it's little things that can trigger people that women sometimes see and sometimes do not see.
So you saying he has to be like a solid dude mentally. So he has to be mentally fortified in his everyday actions.
Yes, in life, he has to be mentally stable because I do not want to, end up on ID because I didn't know that my boyfriend of 5 years was schizophrenic, and I remind him of his mama who traumatized him, and then he ends up going off key.
So for the ladies out there and our listeners, how can a woman tell if this dude is mentally stable? How do you what? Explain to us how you know if he's mentally stable.
Okay, like I said, we may not be able to see it in the beginning because some people, as we know, who are not stable can put on a good show. They can front it like everything's good. So maybe you have a family member, someone who you don't have a physical or a sexual relationship with, another credible leader. Meet this man. Because as you get serious, this is something I would suggest for women. As you get serious, have someone else meet him, another man, a credible leader, and talk to him. See where his head is at. Because if we can't tell, another man should be able to tell. What do you think?
Absolutely. I recommend that for all my ladies out there. Because as men, like I said before, we recognize foolishness right away when we meet other men. We recognize it from the handshake, from just being around each other, from meeting each other. Men can tell right away. We can tell instantly if this dude is 100 or he not. We can tell right away. So that's great advice.
Okay, all right. So we're 2 for 2 right now.
Let's go. So give us another one.
All right. This one is a top 5 for me because it's how I was raised. And not everyone is raised the same. So my number 4 is morals. When I was being raised, 2 things my mother would say to me is she can't take a liar or a thief. And there's just some people who don't have moral values. They will steal, they will cheat, they will just do the things that's opposite from how I was raised. And that's a deal breaker for me.
Wow. Well, what about when lying and cheating benefits you and the family?
It shouldn't.
But what about when it does? Because understand that we live in a capitalistic society, and you can't be a capitalist in this society without lying and cheating. That's how the Bill Gates and the George Soros of the world exist. They exist through capitalism. And unfortunately, our melanated women, they are knee deep in this capitalistic society. They are knee deep in corporate America. And you know for a fact that what's going on right now in corporate America is not working towards our benefit.
Okay. You got a little ding on that, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about lax morals in our relationship. How does he treat me? Is he kind? Is he honest? Is he, okay, for instance, how does he treat his mother? How does he treat his sisters? Is he easy to call me or want to call me out of my name? I'm not talking about the big corporate. I'm talking about in our relationship. What are his morals towards me as a woman? Does he respect me as a woman, as his partner, as his wife? Or when I turn my back, is he trying to holler at a young thing just because he has lack of respect for me? That's what I mean by morals.
Okay. I understand that completely. And I like that that goes out to the women. So, ladies, based on Phoenix's top 5, let us know what you think.
Oh, whoa. That was only my number 4.
Oh, that was your number 4. Hey, well then talk. Let's get to number 5. Talk about it.
Okay, don't try to short me out of my my top 5 so we could just jump into what the men want. See, this is what I'm talking about. Okay, my last one of my top 5 is optimism.
Optimism. So, a woman wants a man that has. So we gonna recap before we hit your final. So respect, drive, mental stability, morals, and optimism. Talk about optimism.
Okay. So for me, I always look at the glass half full, never half empty. I'm talking about somebody who's like, oh, you're not going to be able to do that. I just hate a naysayer. Someone who's, yeah, woe is me. They won't let me. I can't because he will lack drive.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Based on what you just said, how do you determine whether a man has lack of optimism or a profound understanding of reality?
Very easily. If everything from the littlest thing he complains and whine about to the biggest thing. And I mean that's his reasoning for everything. More challenging things that, hey baby, this is just not going to be able to work. Realistic things I can understand. But, being a black man or on the line, or a melanated man, on the line of Walmart, and it's because you're melanated, why the cashier, any little stupid thing. That's what I mean.
I got you. So that's a great answer. Where optimism is one thing and reality is the difference. Simply is that a person of reality is really dealing with the realistic challenges that you have as a couple versus someone that just is pessimistic about everything.
Yeah, exactly.
And I just wanted you to clarify that for our listeners out there who might not know, might not be able to identify the difference between an optimistic person versus a person that's just dealing with the reality of y'all's situation.
Okay. So does that clarify it, or?
Yeah, absolutely. It clarified it. You clarified the difference between optimism and reality.
Okay, and I just want to say once again that my top 5 is not for every woman, because there are some things that other women might be like, hey, that's really not a big thing for me. But I'm saying for women who are in my age group, in general, this may be some of their top 5. So,
and the list is so much longer than top 5. We already stated that in the beginning that this list can go to 100 or 200. We're just touching on 5. That's what's up. Part 2 coming soon. Hope y'all enjoyed that. And what I say In closing, the only thing I know is what I don't know. My goal is to challenge your belief and expectations about relationships. Part two is coming up soon. Y'all gonna love it. What men want. Part two will be what men want. We gonna get into it. So y'all stay tuned.